Hey everyone, what is going on? I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and today we're going to be recapping the Scorpio New Moon so you know how to integrate the major themes from this lunation to set you up for success as we progress through the rest of Scorpio season into November. But first, I have a major announcement, a offering that has been in the works for many, many moons to give all of you an opportunity to experience Stillwater Alchemy in a new, more refined way. So today I introduce to you the Alchemy Point. It is an online community that's going to have many offerings to help you with your spiritual growth, to give you additional resources and tools that are exclusive to this community. This is something that has just been launched today on Saturday, November 2nd, and it's something that I have the intention of growing with the participants. If many of the participants need certain offerings, need certain structure, then I'm going to grow with them to provide different tools, challenges, resources to support them. So I want to just give you a little sneak peek of what it's going to entail. So after you purchase the membership, whether it's monthly or yearly, you'll get access to everything. So the general feed gives you everything that's available, goes through what is here. Something that I'm really excited about is all the resources, a fan favorite. The week ahead astrology breakdowns are available for the week of November 4th. It's right there waiting for you just to click away. These week ahead breakdowns are going to be released every day Saturday. So no matter what your time zones, it'll be waiting for you on Sunday so you can plan your week ahead. What's different? This one I think is already at, yeah, it's close to 40 minutes. So it's a lot of information where I really go more in depth than I ever have before. Also included with this membership are going to be custom meditations for the new moon, the full moon. This meditation with some introduction and explanation clocks in at 20 minutes. And then we have monthly challenges that are going to be here to hold you accountable, to give you another offering, another resource to help you with your growth. And then bringing back the greatest victory of the week that we can share, that we can grow together as a community. Also, what I'm doing as a part of this community is Astro Hours. So this is going to be happening at the start of every month, and I'm going to cater the exact time to see where most people live so that the time makes sense for where people are in the world. But we click this, you can literally join, subscribe to your calendar. The Zoom link is right there. These Astro Hours are for you. I get so many DMs asking, this is showing up in my chart, or I have this synastry with this and a potential lover. Can you help explain this? Can you do that? This time is for you. It's like an office hours where I'm here to answer any specific question. As this community grows, I understand that there could be potentially hundreds of people in these Astro Hours. So with that, I will pivot accordingly. But for now, when you first join, it's likely that you can have basically a one-on-one session asking me whatever you want, which is a pretty remarkable deal. It's like any first-time stock or opportunity. When you buy in at the beginning, you get the best value. And of course, I also have exclusive sales and promotions. I won't click that tab because then it'll reveal those specific promo codes. But with access to the Alchemy Point, to this online community, you will forever get exclusive discount codes that will never expire. They're going to be available for both my one-on-one readings for tarot, astrology, and coaching, as well as my passive products like the Venus Journal, workshops, one question readings. You will get those discounts forever. And what it ends up being is 25% off any one-on-one reading and 10% off any passive product. So if you're going to buy a one-on-one reading anyway, and you're buying an hour reading, that basically pay for your membership anyway. So it truly is like I'm not doing this with the intent of I'm going to make all the money. Yes, I will make all the money over the course of many, many moons, but I'm not doing it with that intent. I'm truly doing it to set up a foundation so that people have an opportunity, a resource to grow. What it ends up being price wise is either $30 Canadian a month or 300 Canadian a year. If you're in the States, I did the math and you end up doing it per year, it ends up being like $18 American a month because it ends up being 25 Canadian if you do the conversion. The conversion rate, depending on your local currency, if you're not Canadian, will always be determined on the day of that transaction. If you want any additional knowledge on the Alchemy Point, it's all going to be available on the sales page on Stillwater Alchemy's website, which I will put the link below. And any general questions, feel free to leave them on this comment page from this YouTube video, or just in general. I'm excited to allow this community to grow and evolve as it needs to. All right. So let's dive into this Scorpio new moon, shall we? So this new moon happened on Friday, November 1st, starting 8:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The biggest thing with this Scorpio new moon is that Scorpio's traditional ruler is Mars. So many people I don't want to be judgmental. It's very hard for me though when I see astrologers say that Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Yes, the modern ruler of Scorpio is Pluto, but if we're looking from a Hellenistic astrology and we're looking at the exact significations of prominent Scorpio transits, like the Scorpio new moon, we're going to be looking to Mars. So pay close discernment if you're seeing people online talk about Pluto being the ruler of Scorpio, or Uranus being the Scorpio, or Uranus being the ruling planet of Aquarius, or Neptune being the ruling planet of Pisces. For timing techniques and for understanding transits, we're looking at the modern rulership. The reason why this is so telling is because we can see this exact opposition between Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. This is such a dynamic aspect. Oppositions are very, very intense, challenging. They can call us to try and perfectly balance two separate energies, which we know is very, very difficult. Furthermore, Mars has weakened essential dignity in the sign of Cancer. It can be very, very volatile, or it can get very emotional very quickly. And the one saving grace here, in my opinion, is that we have Mercury at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So this Mercury Mars trine, for me, is this knowledge of when you intuitively or emotionally know something, but you're still trying to do so anyway. It's like when people are lactose intolerant and they still eat dairy. It's like, you know, that isn't good for you. No matter what you do, no matter how you try and splice it, you are physically hurting your body by eating that food. When we know there are unaligned situations, jobs, relationships, habits, and we still partake in them anyway, that's what I believe is a key theme of this new moon is something has to be severed, to cut, to separate these Martian terms in terms of either a relationship, given that Cancer is cardinal water, or the emotional attachment we have to something. I was thinking about this the other day, this notion of the one that got away and how people can pine after certain love interests and relive feelings of guilt or shame or remorse or disappointment or self-hatred because they weren't enough or they didn't do enough to hold on to or to pursue a certain person. For me, it doesn't make any sense because if you were meant to be with that person truly on a soul karmic level, you're going to be with that person. I truly believe that. You do not have to take that if it doesn't resonate. Second of all, if that relationship was simply to teach you the value of yourself, of the caliber of a relationship with that kind of a person, then that relationship did its job. It got you to a certain point in the relationship or a certain part of your soul's journey to understand those things so that you can show up better. If you didn't have that experience of longing or not being able to hold it at that time, then you wouldn't have learned certain things. It's so weird to me when humans, and trust me, I've been there too, where it's like, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. I'm like, well, was it wrong if you learned the lesson? If you learned the lesson, then you had to go through that failure, that setback, that defeat to learn what you needed to learn. And also, how boring would life be if we knew everything, if we got everything that we wanted? Like, you would get really bored. I'm not sure if any of you are active gym goers or exercise physically a lot, when something is too easy and you're like not even sweating, it's not challenging. I mean, I get frustrated. I'm like, I need to increase the weight, I need to increase the speed on this Stairmaster, on this treadmill. Like, you get bored. You're like, I'm not getting stronger, right? And with Mars being the ruling planet of Scorpio, with Scorpio being so consumed with evolution and becoming their best self, we need to strip ourselves away from these unaligned emotions, right? Mars and Cancer. We need to allow ourselves to go through that evolution. And it's going to be different for everyone, but ways that you can primarily look at this is looking at the houses in your natal chart ruled by Scorpio, because this new moon energy is initiating something that is moving forward. We can also be looking at Scorpio's relationship to Cancer, because this Mercury Mars trine is definitely going to give you the intuitive downloads, the emotional intelligence or awareness to understand what certain things are happening. And then, third of all, that connection between the Cancer and Capricorn axis in your natal chart, that there's some kind of massive restructuring, a rebirth, a reacclimation of your emotional well-being. This can also manifest in your relationship to the feminine, a relationship to a woman, maybe even a mother wound. This can also be in relation to home, to moving. There's so many manifestations of this where something needs to be severed, to let go, in order for that rebirth to occur. And I understand that intensity, rebirth are token words associated with Scorpio, but it's further amplified because of this Mars-Pluto opposition. And we're never going to have a Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn transit in our lifetime. Like, yes, we will have Mars opposing Pluto, but not Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So if it makes you feel any better, if you're feeling a certain type of way and it's extremely challenging, you'll never have to feel this in this part of your life ever again, because it's not going to happen, right? So I just want you to really give gratitude for where you are. And if there is pain, if there is frustration, when it manifests for me, then I know a breakthrough is coming. Like, I've just went through so many of these cycles, especially ever since the South Node was in Scorpio. If you remember back in 2023 up until 2024, it was like mid 2022 until 2024, or it was beginning of 2022 until mid 2023, 11/11 on my clock as I say this. Regardless, if any of you have been through extremely excruciating times where it feels like nothing is ever getting better, you've learned that, I'm sure, or you are currently learning, or you will learn that when these periods of life happen to you, it's not that it makes it any less challenging or intense, but you gain the tools to understand how to navigate them. And in my experience, I've learned that when I'm going through a really intense contraction, when it feels like a part of me is dying, whether it's excruciating physical pain or emotional turmoil or spiritual frustration, I acknowledge it. And a lot of times, then when I get to the other side of the acknowledgement and of feeling it, I then know that there's a massive breakthrough happening. Even just acknowledging it is part of the breakthrough, if I'm being honest. But then I know that there's going to be something huge. And that breakthrough can simply be that I feel better. The breakthrough is that I have the courage to face another day. The breakthrough is understanding that I just experienced another challenging, turbulent storm at sea on my little rife bath, and I like survived it. That's a win. And I get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I will say, if you are a healer yourself or someone that possesses a lot of beautiful, nurturing energy, it is likely that you will witness or cross paths with people that are going to be very grateful for the wisdom that you share from these storms that you've survived. And not that we learn these lessons necessarily to always help other people, but it usually manifests like that. And given this strong scorpionic energy in Mars Pluto, at least it makes me feel better knowing that I'm not just going through this for the sake of going through this. I'm either finishing up a lesson or I'm gaining greater emotional compassion, awareness, and empathy to be of greater service. Okay. So please take it easy. When we get to Saturday with this Moon Mars trine, and then we have the Moon Saturn Moon Neptune trine, there's a lot of really good energy for connecting to the emotions of how you wish to feel. So it can work twofold. One, if you need that release, if you are fatigued, exhausted, in pain, sometimes crying can just let it all out of just acknowledging the fear, acknowledging the frustration, acknowledging the unknown, right? Those tears can be very healing. And sometimes we all have certain movies or songs or even memories that can help us to feel that. And if any of you have been through a very intense healing journey or have had multiple trips to the underworld, then you probably understand that sometimes you'll just burst into tears randomly. You'll be like watching the happiest thing ever and you'll burst into tears. Or you'll have a random memory of a loved one that is no longer here and you'll burst into tears, like wishing that they were here right now that you could talk to them. Like there's so many ways that us connecting into water, into emotion, into different water elemental healing modalities is so nurturing for the soul. And then once we feel it, then we can process it a little bit easier. But ignoring it altogether and then distracting or doing self-sabotage behaviors, that's not going to help. Like it's eating ice cream for dinner. It's not actually supporting the growth. So when we get to Saturday, it's likely that there's going to be certain ideas or certain opportunities for you to strengthen your emotional nurturing or what you need to do long term. And again, it might not be something that is overly enjoyable, but it might be one of those things where it's like, I need to do this. Like, this is actually going to help me on a kind of mundane level. That could be getting groceries so that you have the proper sustenance. It could be making a phone call and asking for support from a loved one, even if it feels uncomfortable because of your pride of doing everything on your own. It could be initiating and starting to send out resumes for your dream job that you're like, I literally have nothing else to lose. I'm going to put myself out there and do this because I'm not going to let the fear dictate my future. So really lean into that. And if you so choose, in the Alchemy Point online community, there's already that meditation waiting for you if you want an additional resource to help you integrate and to tap into this beautiful emotional energy to help you heal, to help you work with this Scorpio new moon energy. All right. So there's some additional journal prompts and probing questions in the description of this video to help if you want that type of resource to help journal out, to help go further in with this lunation. I'm wishing you all a absolutely fabulous Scorpio season with this new moon, supporting you and giving you the foundation for what is needed to help you on an emotional, soulful level. All right? Sending you all the love, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.